Hello and welcome back to the X-Ring. I have a really exciting episode. It is going to be a rather long episode, but join along with me as I explore 6-dasher. Stay tuned. All right, so it's no secret that in PRS shooting, the #1 cartridge is 6-dasher. And what an appropriate time of year. You got Dasher and Prancer and Vixen and everyone else. So I've never messed with 6-dasher. I've had an opportunity to fire a couple of rifles chambered in 6-dasher, but I've never myself owned a rifle in 6-dasher. So with the help of the guys from Proof, and I do want to give a big shout out to Proof Research, they have supplied me with a barrel. This is a one-off. Don't try to order it because it's not something that they make, but it is a Proof pre-fit barrel for the Accuracy International, and it's a pre-fit. So all I've got to do is drop this in. It's chambered in 6mm, or 6-dasher rather. And so what we're going to do is we're going to drop that in here in just a second. I'll show you the whole process, and I'm going to let you guys follow along the whole step. Everything from reloading, because I don't even know what to expect. I've been able to search some data online from the PRS blog to see what the pet loads are, and it seems like, you know, for a long time there, 6-dasher is not something new. It's been out for years and years. The biggest thing was fire forming. Well, you don't have to worry about that anymore. There's quite a few companies that have brass that you can purchase, and the biggest one here is Alpha Munitions. Big shout out to those guys. Like I said, I did pay for this. They didn't send me this, but for having it in stock and getting it shipped to me very quickly. This is made in USA, and they're beautiful. They come in the cases just like this, guys. That's the way the box was. And so you open it up, it's like an MTN case, and it already has the brass in here. Of course, I'm not going to be able to get that out, but it's already been annealed. I'm probably still going to anneal it. I typically anneal no matter what. Also want to size the brass. And then I've got me a good quantity of the Burger, the 105 seems to be the bullet of choice. And it's a 6mm 243 diameter. I also picked up a set of retting dies. And these are full-length sizing dies. I didn't want to go crazy with match dies or anything else because I don't know how this is going to work. And then the powder of choice seems to be Varget, Hodgson Varget. Primer of choice seems to be CCI 450 or the BR4s. And the only other thing I have to do is I need to get some magazine kits. And the reason is now you have a short action, but you have a really short cartridge. I have no idea how they're going to feed in the AX magazines, but Patriot Valley Arms, they actually make fit kits for it that is supposed to alleviate the problem. Basically, it keeps you from putting the bullet too far to the rear. That way it's closer to the feed ramp and it just feeds right in. So the first thing we're going to do on this Accuracy International is we're going to take the barrel off. We'll go ahead and throw the 6-dasher in there, the barrel, and we'll go ahead and put some type of muzzle brake on it. I'll probably put a Thunder Beast on there or something like that. It should be the 5/8 24 threading, so stay tuned. All right, so we've checked to make sure everything's clear. The first thing you're going to need is a 4mm for Accuracy International. What we're going to do is we're just going to loosen this. I'm just going to take my Borka kit and I'm going to loosen the lock screw on this, or the lock nut. Now out of my Borka kit, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the barrel wrench portion. What I'm going to do is on the flats, I'm going to put my Borka wrench on here and I'm just going to loosen this counterclockwise. And then now we can unscrew the barrel. All right, so unscrewing the barrel. Now, I'm going to keep unscrewing it until I feel it release. This has the M27 tenon instead of the M30. And what we're talking about here is basically how large this is, okay? So this is a pre-fit, so this should work really well. What we're going to do is go ahead and open this up, and let's get this barrel on the AI. Okay, this one does not have the flats cut into it, but I do understand that because it is a prototype barrel. It actually has no markings on it. So what we want to do is go ahead and put this in. Yeah, we will take care of Cerakoting later, but man, that's an awesome fit. And hand tight is usually good enough. You actually don't need a wrench or anything else for this. That's it. It is hand tight. Good to go. And now I just need to tighten this up to about 42 inch-pounds. All right, so with the Borka kit, I'm just going to go ahead and hand tighten this. And what I'll do now is I will take the Borka driver, the torque driver. I will set this on 42. That's usually a good number. So I'll go to this side of the beam, 42. There's 42 there, and what I'm going to do is kind of pre-tension it so I'm not working against myself here. And here we go. That's it. You can always look right here. You can see that it's indexed and it's locked in properly. We are ready to go with 6-dasher. All right, so you guys know I don't do a lot of reloading videos, and the reason is I was told it'll help keep you off YouTube's radar, so doing this start to finish might not really go well with them watching me on the channel because they've been demonetizing pretty much every video I've been throwing out there. So rather than show you everything, we'll talk about it all. I do use a bench source. This is the Vertex Annealer. I've had this for many, many years now, and it works great. I will tell you, I'm kind of like a lot of the other shooters. One in particular, I've watched some of his videos, Eric Cortina. I always anneal my brass. Always, no questions asked. I know there's a lot of other annealers out there that might be easier, but this actually works. It works well. I have no issues with it. And I think it's a good way to just kind of uniform the tension on the neck, just to get it back soft again so you're not doing any case hardening. I'll trim the overall length of the brass. I really don't mess with the primer pocket, the flash holes. That's just something I've never concerned myself with. We'll see what kind of results we get. You have to remember, this has never been fired, so this has not been fire formed in my chamber. I'm not bumping the shoulders back. I'm going to full length resize it, so it's actually going to be smaller than the chamber. That's going to give us a little extra play. And what we'll do is after that first shooting of it, then what we can do is now that it's fire formed to the chamber, all we've got to do is bump those shoulders back about 1.5 thou to 2 thou. So let's go ahead and prep the brass. We'll go ahead and get some powder dumped. I'll show you the equipment that I'm using, but I'm not going to go step by step on how I'm reloading it, okay? So first thing, anneal the brass. All right, so now that it's been annealed, I'll just use some Imperial Case Wax. And what I will do, this was a brand new setup. Basically, I put my shell holder in here, and I unscrewed this until it touched. Okay, I'll just show you how this works. Just going to go until it touches. I'll do about 1/4, and that's probably good enough for the full length sizing. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the case wax, and all I'm going to do is just lightly lube the outside. However you do this is entirely up to you. Some people like to use Hornady One Shot or something like that, but I haven't done anything on the inside or the outside yet. What I'd like to do is make sure that the necks are actually round. So if I do it beforehand, sometimes you'll get dings on these from shipping. I doubt that's the case with this brass, but I have seen it on Lapua brass where you get some of the dings in there, and then the next thing you know, you are sitting there trying to do the inside outside, and you're going to feel a little notch or a bump. So yeah, big shout out to the guys at Area 419, man. This press just feels awesome. And for me, another thing I like to do is I like to actually take the brass, and once I run it on the sizing die, I'll rotate it about 180 degrees. Just makes me feel better about it. And all we're doing is we're sizing it down to 6-dasher, okay? And I know a lot of you guys might say, well, it's not necessary to size it if it's brand new brass. Guys, it does make a difference in uniformity. You will see your SDs and your extreme spreads drop when you do this. Make sure you're sizing before you ever start loading. All right, so I sized 20 pieces for the start. I trimmed them to length on this. You can actually set it for making sure you get the uniform length. And what I want to do is the inside, outside of the neck. From the factory, even from Alpha, these are going to have a little slight rim right here. And what I don't want to do is when I seat the bullet, strip the copper jacket off of it. So what I want to do is I want to just go ahead and do the outside, just slight pressure, inside, and then I just do this just to clean the case neck. And what you're going to see now is now that I've sized it, now this is really, really smooth. It's not hitting anything that might have been just slightly out of round. That's all we're doing, just putting a really Nice little edge on this, inside and outside. All right, guys, so now that we have them all primed up, what we're going to do is we're going to drop powder. I'm using the Area 419. This is the powder funnel kit. Guys, this is the best kit out there. It's basically, I mean, you put the 6mm on there, it is good to go. We're using the FX300, the auto trickler, and we have matched weights on these. So that way when it's throwing, I know I'm good to go. Zeroed out there, and let's check it. Zeroed out here. Let's go ahead and get some Varget in here, and let's start throwing some powder. We have the Varget, and we're going to go ahead and load this up in here. All right, so now I'm ready to throw powder. I have the Auto Trickler V3 already set up. I've got the iPad already set up here, and so the number that I've come up with is 32.5 grains. So 32.5 is our target, and here we go. Let's see if we get it. These things are awesome, by the way. Saves you a lot of time. All right, so that one's good. What we're going to do is I'll go ahead and get this one going. All right, nothing crazy, just going with a 20 thousandths jump initially. So I've got it set for that. We'll see what happens. And we'll just go ahead and do 15 rounds before I get too crazy. All right, guys, so it's about 20 degrees outside. You know the old saying, I didn't get this old by being stupid. Well, actually I did a couple times, but I got away with it. So what I did is I put a muzzle brake on there only because I want to make sure I protect the threads. It's just in transport. But this is an unmarked barrel. I trust the guys over at Proof, but I don't know. You know, it seems like everything chambered fine. I have my 20 thousandths jump. All right, 10 rounds loaded of the 6 dasher. What I want to do is I want to shoot one round just to see if it's close to the velocity. I am not going to get behind the gun, plain and simple. Just going to make sure I get one downrange close. All right, here we go. Fire in the hole. Brass looks good. Got a good gas check on it. I mean, good seal. Not seeing any signs of pressure whatsoever. All right, and here we go. See what kind of group we can get out of this sucker. Feels good, nothing funky. It's not bad. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to have that fit kit. Let's see where this next one goes. Okay, so they're within 1/2 of an inch of each other. Let me go ahead and see what kind of group I can print with this. And we'll figure it out from there. Probably gonna have to play around with the seating depth. I've got it set for 20 thou jump right now. All right, here we go. 5-shot group at 100 yards. We're gonna go for the top pasty. That's a good 3-shot group. Last round. Oh, and of course I pulled the last one. But all in all, it feels pretty snappy. Very little recoil, but I can definitely tell it's a little sharper than shooting the 6 arc. It feels good in here. Like I said, I just need those magazine kits because I'm having to actually push up on the back of this magazine just a hair. Well, let's go ahead and take a look at this 5-shot group. Like I said, I pulled the last one. I should have never came off the stock. We'll see what it looks like. Pretty impressed with it. All right, guys, so coming on up to the target here, Like I said, it's freezing cold. I don't have time to set up a camera. But these were the first shots right here, okay? That was the first one. This was the second one. Once I made the correction, I came up here. That's 5 shots into there. Remember, this is not a 1-inch pasty. That's a 3/4 inch pasty. I did pull that 1 shot low, but that's probably because I came off of the stock. I'm pretty darn impressed with it. I think this thing has a lot of potential. I'll take that all day long. A quick measurement with sub-MOA still shows me that even with the pulled shot, with taking my cheek off the riser, it was still a half MOA. All right, so from the start of the video till now has been right at 1 hour and 45 minutes, so not bad for throwing in a barrel, getting some load data, and always work your wet loads up, okay? I actually took this on really good advice. Where's a good place to start and see if it's on a node. I was pretty impressed with the results of it. I still need to get a speed. I think the speed is going to be there. I think the magneto speed was having an error because it was a different bayonet. I'm going to take this out to the range probably tomorrow. We'll see what happens. But like I said, I wanted to go down this path and see what 6-dasher was all about. Huge shout out to Proof Research. Like I said, this is a one-off. There's not another barrel like it out there in the wild right now for an AI pre-fit. And big thanks to those guys. I can't appreciate them enough, or tell you how much I appreciate it. Big shout out to Cool Clothing and everyone else that's helped support the channel. Hopefully you learned a little something about 6-dasher. I know that I did. There's not a lot of specs out there. You'll have to get up with some guys that do PRS that are very familiar with the cartridge to get you some good numbers. And then also you got to play around with that jump. Like I said, I'm just at 20,000 because I heard that's a good number, but I'm sure I could work that up later. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you have a great weekend. I hope you had a Merry Christmas with your family, and hopefully you'll have a great New Year. Hopefully we all have a better year in 2021 than 2020. It was a crazy year. Guys, like, share, and subscribe. We'll talk to you soon. Have a good one.